Good afternoon, evening, or morning, everyone, wherever you might be here on YouTube. This is Dells Ducks This Week. My name is Matt Panure, joined by Jim Den Hollander, Dells Ducks head coach Bill Zanaboni, and Dells Ducks assistant coach Jake Hebeisen. And guys, we're getting that much closer to getting some Dells Ducks hockey rolling here. Jake, I know the ice is going in this week, and you're kind of heading that one up with the rink owner, Aaron Kirby.
Yeah, started yesterday morning. Thankfully, the compressors turned on without too many major issues. Got about half an inch of base coat down. Tomorrow we get to put down our white, and then Friday will be exciting because we'll have some of the boys in town to help paint the Ducks logos and all the circles and that fun stuff.
So let's get down to brass tacks. How soon before we see some folks out on the ice?
If everything goes to plan, hopefully Monday morning, maybe Sunday night. If the weather stays cooperative, then yeah, maybe Sunday night.
Yeah, and it seems that the weather has really been cooperating this year, a little cool the past couple of weeks. Does that sort of help you get the ice in a little bit quicker?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the rinks here in Wisconsin were meant originally just to kind of be run from late fall into early spring, and as we've kind of pushed the start date back, having the Ducks here now, it can be a little difficult with the hot weather. Last year, I know we were about 95 degrees every day, and it was really tough, but thankfully we've been right around 80 or below so far this week, so hopefully that will stay through the weekend.
Well, Coach, I know for you that's got to be kind of a good sign. I know you'd been talking to a few players, and sooner the better for you, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the quicker we can get them out here and put them in the blender type deal and see where we're at, the quicker we can start solving problems. So, I look forward to it. Right now I'm kind of working in the locker room, so I see these guys working on the ice every day, and I see our list on our board in there every day, and, things are getting exciting. It's fun to come to the rink and start getting back into the groove and stuff, and hopefully our guys are ready when they come for main camp.
Yeah, and I know you kind of helped transition that there. We're looking at some of the newer players, and I know, Jim, you've been really involved in kind of getting to know some of these newer guys, so I'm going to kind of turn it over to you here about some of the newer players with the Dells Ducks and the coaches and how they're feeling about them.
Okay, thanks, Matt. In recent weeks, we've talked a lot about the returning guys. There's still maybe some surprises to come on that. Excuse me, but we have talked about 10 returning guys so far. And we have talked a lot about Ian Wood in recent weeks. I've gotten to know him pretty well from both the tournament out east and also with the earlier camp. A couple new players that everybody seems really excited about, Coach. I think on top of the list right now, I think it was the very first player to sign this season, maybe way back in May, and that was the goaltender Mike Ambrose, a product out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no, we are excited about Mike. He comes highly regarded from Shane Clifford, who actually was my goalie coach when I played. Shane's worked with goalies from the NHL all the way down, to Mites. So, yeah, I mean, Mike's a guy that's drawn a lot of attention to himself, especially out east. I know he had contracts in the EJ and the AJ and stuff like that, and chose to come here to kind of be the counterpart with Robbie Meadows, which only makes us a little deeper.
Absolutely.
We ran into a situation last year with an injury, and not saying John didn't handle it professionally and incredible for us, but it's always nice to have a 1A and a 1B type deal. It makes you more dangerous the deeper you go into playoffs and so forth. So to get a guy like Mike to be a counterpart with Robbie, I think it makes us a very dangerous team to come into the season with. Mike's a guy that takes this very, very seriously, and that's what we want. We want guys to make sure that this is their life when they come in, and they're looking to use this as a stepping stone, whether it's for college or for the next level. So we're excited to get them. We've heard nothing but good things. I know actually Ian Wood is with him right now training this week down in Pittsburgh. So it's a good thing. You start getting guys together wherever they are, and hopefully when they come in, relationships are already bonded and that kind of stuff's out of the way, and you can worry about getting in right away to systems and start implementing what we want, I guess, as our family on the ice.
Just kind of a follow-up question to that. You know, last year you had John Sullivan who came back in as sort of the incumbent starter, but we saw a lot of Robbie early in the season before he went down with injury. Can we expect to sort of see that 1-2 tandem squaring off at the start of the year again?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, right now, I mean, that's my gut feeling. I mean, obviously, Robbie has definitely proven himself everywhere he's been. You know, I think last year he had 4 losses here. He still finished out the year being a top 4 guy in numbers, and you know what, Robbie's a good goalie. And if he probably wasn't a 93, he probably wouldn't be back here this year. So, you know, we're fortunate enough to get a guy like that. And to find a kid like Mike, like I said, makes us deeper, but it's going to make Robbie better. And Robbie's going to make Mike better, and that's what we're looking for out of this. They got to push each other, and they got to have a good relationship, and you know, they got to support each other when whoever's in the net. You know, it's really going to be up to them who plays, but you know, right now I would say it's going to be a situation like it was last year with John and Robbie both giving us a great opportunity to win every night. So.
The cool thing about that, it seems like, you know, that's really become the Ducks' reputation is solid goaltending. It's the 3rd year now where, you know, I think that both of the previous years they had stellar goaltending, and it looks like that trend is going to continue, so that's nice to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't here obviously for the first year. Jake was, and I've gotten to know Matt Rowe a little bit, you know, inviting him to camps as all our alumni are, and he seems like just a great person, and obviously him going to Bethel and playing really well this year at Division III level, makes it a lot easier to recruit when you can say, you know, the goalie from the first year went to Bethel and is playing, and now John Sully Hansen going to Hamlin and playing Division III. I mean, so if we can keep producing good goaltending, you know, that should be a strong point every year. It just makes it that much easier. So, you know, we're focused on that. I think you have to build a team from the back end out, and I think that's what we did this year with getting Ambrose right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know, we've really been concentrating on our defensive core because it seems like that's usually the toughest. I don't know if you'd agree with me, but I think that's the toughest to find. So, you know, we've really been concentrating on that, and you know, right now we're looking for goal scorers. So.
Well, I guess we'll go back to front. Another, you know, you've had some great imports for the first 3 years as well. That trend looks like it's going to continue again. We have a big, rugged defenseman planning to come to town by the name of, I hope I pronounce this right, I'll get it right later in the season if I'm not, but I believe it's Johannes Leitner from Vienna, Austria, who I believe played on the West Coast last year, a big solid defenseman, and you guys are really excited about him too, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about him, and I know Jake is as well. You know, he's a big, strong kid. I think he was right around 140 penalty minutes last year in 35 games. He's definitely not afraid to be physical. He's a 6 foot, 200-pound defenseman. He's a lefty shot. You know, we got him kind of, I don't know how to say it, I guess. He was at Springfield's camp in the North American League, and a friend of mine who is now the National Development Goalie Coach for the U.S. Saw him there and spoke really highly of him, so we contacted him that day. And he did his research, we did our research, and things kind of fell into place. So I think, you know, we kind of lucked out getting him, and, you know, right now I would say, you know, he adds a piece of the puzzle that maybe we're missing. You know what I mean? With Zima gone and the toughness of Todd and that kind of stuff. I mean, he can bring, you know, a little bit of both of that into the mix. So we're excited to get him. I mean, you know, hopefully the transition to the smaller ice actually benefits him being a physical guy. So taking away that time and space and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know if you have anything to add, but I'm excited to get him here. I know he's going to be going to high school in the Dells.
Yeah.
He's going to be part of the community right away, which is important. So
Absolutely.
I know he's excited as well.
When you kind of mention him, I can think of another import that we had 2 years ago back on defense that was sort of a tough as nails guy. And Jake, maybe you can add to this. Hedis Pleskichovs. How does he measure up?
Johannes the Hedius?
Yeah, Johannes.
Well, they're both coming in roughly, they're both high school seniors coming in. Johannes is coming in. I think he's going to fulfill kind of that same role. And with defensemen, roles kind of change as you get into the offensive zone. Some guys are offensive, some guys are more conservative. But in the defensive zone, you pretty much like to have everybody to be consistently tough in front of the net and mean in the corners. And it sounds like that's something that Johannes takes pride in, and that'll be a big asset to us, I think, this season.
Okay, another defenseman here named Mike Sullivan, who played club hockey at Bowling Green last year. How does he going to fit in, do you think, Coach?
Yeah, I saw Mike play actually in Farmington Hills at the Sioux Eagles camp. Mike played Division II ACHA last year. They went to the national championship for club hockey, and he's a kid that hasn't had the junior experience yet. He's really excited to be a part of a team. That I guess that we built kind of an identity of last year, and what we're looking to bring in again this year. Mike skates really well. He is, I wouldn't say he's, very small. He's bigger than Hefner. I don't know if that says anything, but plays with a lot of character, plays with a lot of jam, likes to move the puck. Like I said, he skates really well. He's very aware in all three zones. And, his intelligence on the ice and his ability to move pucks coming up the ice is going to help us out a lot, especially when we play fast teams like, Rochester and the Lights and those guys. We're looking for puck movers so we can relieve pressure and get pressure and sustain it.
So coming out of the club ranks of college, I can think of Austin Zima, who did that a couple of years ago, coming up from Illinois. What sort of translation is there from that level to the Minnesota Junior Hockey League?
Yeah, well, I think that's a good question. I think the biggest thing is the day in and day out. It's when you're playing college hockey, you're only playing 25, 30 games. Right now we're slated at 71 games as of today. We're at 71, and as of tomorrow it'll be 73.
Bit of a jump.
Yeah. And it's it's just the beating of the body and the mental aspect, how you can kind of keep that even keel all the time, and that's stuff that these guys have to understand, because once they get back to that competitive college level, every game is so important. So that's really what we can kind of instill in them, and I think Austin really transformed when he got his injury last year and he thought he was done and came back. I've never seen a player kind of come back from an injury like that. And I think he's going to be a dominant player for U of I this year. And I'm hoping to do the same thing with Mike.
Okay, as far as the forwards go, we have a couple names here that we'll just throw out at you, Coach. A player named Dane Rowe, another Western prospect, it sounds like, who played for the Glacier Nationals last year from the American West League. You obviously have a real preference for guys from out west, and he looks like he's going to fit in really nice too.
Yeah, I mean, Danny's actually an excellent football player, and he brings that mentality and intensity right onto the ice. So, I would expect him, for you guys to, I would say, kind of a Nightenbach cross type of guy. He loves to play in the corners. He loves to be mean. He's physical, and off the ice, he's just a down-to-earth kid. He's a kid that I've heard about probably for the last 3 years. That was coming up in the ranks out west when I was in Bozeman and stuff like that, and we're really excited to get just a quality person like him. He put up points for sure last year. I don't think you're going to see anything pretty, but that's my type of hockey. I mean, he's going to be a guy just to jam in front of the net, and kind of like what we talked about with that Colin Van Hotter that we just made the trade for. Just kind of has a knack to get involved, and to find guys that are willing to just get in the dirty areas of the ice without telling them to do it. It's almost a skill right now. So I'm excited to get a kid like that up front.
Dane Moore, I remember when you talked about, I can't remember what showcase it was that you came back from, but you were pretty excited right from day one after you saw this guy. Dane Moore, believe he played AAA for Victory Honda last year.
Yeah, Dane's actually a utility guy. Played forward in defense for Victory Honda, which is a very highly established major AAA team out of Michigan. He's from Cadillac, which it's close to the UP, but not up there. He was at the Sioux Eagles tryout, the North American League. Did well. We spoke actually to Coach Bill Moore at St. Mary's, where Nick Albergo is going, and he spoke very highly of Dane as well, and gave him a good reference, and talked to me and Coach Jake about him, and said, you know, he's going to be a guy that's really tough to take out of the lineup for anyone. He's going to be hungry. We recruit him as a forward, but we know if anything happens where, you know, a D gets kicked out, or we're in a penalty situation where, you know, we have a guy that we can throw back, kind of like last year what we did with Johnny.
Right, yeah.
You know, and utility guys are extremely valuable, and I think people overlook them, but when you play the systems that we do and stuff like that, it's extremely valuable to the Ducks to have a guy that just has the mentality to be able to throw in a situation and be responsive in it. So, no, Dane's a kid that we're really excited about. Another kid like Ambrose, where, you know, nonstop hockey, working out all the time. I know he works at a golf course right now, and he's pretty excited to get here. And we're actually really excited to get him. We worked on him for a while. We didn't sign him until we were driving over to our first camp in Kenosha.
Yep.
You remember that in the car? So it took a while, and which it should sometimes. You know what I mean? There's a lot on the plate, and he could have went back and played AAA because of his age.
Right.
And decided to make the jump to junior hockey. So it's definitely an exciting prospect that we're looking at.
Sounds like nobody's, with the amount of core players you have back, and then with these incoming talented players, there's gonna be some real battles for spots come August 25th. It's not that far away.
Yeah, no, and I think that just makes us better. You know, like I said, I don't know how many natural goal scorers we have. I mean, we're gonna score goals because right now our group is kind of the hard hat type of guys, where we're gonna go to work every day. And with a guy like Yuri Nightenbach and Colin Cross coming back, I don't know if there's two better guys that can lead that in a direction. If that's gonna be our identity for offense, then I'm still comfortable because we have guys like that coming back. And then don't forget, we got Lane Martin and a Hefner coming back at forward that can shoot a puck pretty good. But, I mean, overall, as an identity, last year we were a running gun team, and we had guys that could bang, you know, on another line. But this year, right now, kind of how we're forming is we're going to be kind of like a Boston Bruin, throw a puck in a corner and bang people up and get pucks and look for guys. So, well, I'm fine with that.
Well, you got that Stuyma kid back there. He's not shy about creating offense either.
No. I mean, you know, Jacob was a project last year, and I think he responded well, and in times. Right away, he was really hard to kind of throw a rope on and make sure that he understood that we got to make sure that no one scores goals against us, but. He responded well. He became a leader. I mean, he played through pain, and you know, he's a kid that if you ask him why do you play, it's because I love to play. There's no other answer. It's not that I want to play in the North American League or I want to play college. I just love to play hockey. And like I said, I mean, that's the character right now that we have. We just have hard-nosed guys. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, he can create stuff kind of out of nothing. So. It's exciting to get that. I would love to have some forwards like that right now, but we don't, so that's fine. I mean, we have no issues with Simon joining the rush.
No.
And you know, with his understanding, having a year now under his belt at the junior level, I mean, he's become very smart, and his leadership, kind of by example, has taken a bigger role than I think he knows. So no, we're excited about it all right now.
Well, it sounds like coming up here pretty quick, you're going to get a chance to start looking into exactly how your roster is going to form. Have that tournament coming up August 25th. Lewis College out of Chicago, the Wisconsin Rampage, Central Wisconsin Saints. There's some pretty good competition sitting there waiting for you.
Yeah, no, I think we're excited. I think we open up, I want to say Friday night against Lewis. So we're going to play the older guys right away and kind of run our guys through the ringer and see what we have. I mean, I think the biggest thing that we're looking out of this showcase is kind of where guys fit in, but the biggest thing is the willingness to compete. Against so when they line up against someone else and see a different jersey, what's the kind of care factor that they're going to give? And I think that fits more with Jake and I of where they're going to fit into our team and the identity that we're going to have. Because we're not going to change our identity of our team because of the players that we're going to have. I mean, we want hard-nosed guys that want to play and want to win, and they're going to sacrifice. And if they can't do that, then that's up for us to make a change in the player or make a change in the personnel. So, I think we're pretty excited to have an opportunity like this. And I know Jake and I really talked about our first tryout camp where we had the showcase up in Kenosha, and we sat back and looked at it and said, that's the best way to judge talent, is to actually see what they're going to do when they line up against someone that they're not fighting for the same spot, but they're fighting for the team, and to see the kind of the white in their eyes, if it's going to if they're going to go blind and give up, or they're going to get mean and go through people. And just like everyone saw last year, I mean, that was the team that we had, and that's what made us successful, I think. Oh, I don't know, you got anything on that?
No, I think, like Bill just mentioned, the showcase in Kenosha went really well, and to have them back coming up here and to throw another couple teams in the mix, I think it's great for everybody early in the season, whether you're a junior program or a college program, just to see where your guys fit in. So I think it's going to be a great tool for all of us.
I just think, Jim, we're only 3 weeks away
Yeah.
from seeing that first action out there on the ice.
It seemed like such a long time ago, but we're gonna be flipping the calendar to August tomorrow, or it'll probably be flipped by the time you're seeing this. And there's no denying it then. I mean, we're right into we're counting the days then, rather than the months.
Oh, absolutely. Don't forget we lost to the Rampage in the final game there in the shootout. So.
Oh, at Kenosha.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So.
There's a little something left over there.
I just don't take losing easily, I guess. So it's not like we're coming out to just see where guys fit in. Like I don't expect to lose a game, and that's the mentality that we need to present to these guys, even on the 25th when they're in camp here. That if you're on the white team or the black team or whatever team, I expect you to have the mentality that you want to win the game.
One of the nice things I heard you mention on the phone, I think yesterday, with so many returning guys, you actually have the luxury of not really having to introduce systems as much as just continue them. Your camp and some of these exhibition games must really give you a chance to just really pick up where you left off.
Yeah, I mean, we're open. The biggest thing, I think, our misconception that you get is, you get returning guys, you should be a good team.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know, you have no control of these kids for 6 months in the summertime. You don't know what they're doing, and I think that's the biggest question. If we get everyone back for where they left off, yeah, we'll be successful, absolutely.
Right.
If they come in with a different attitude, a different mentality, we're not going to be very successful unless we can change it quick. And that's our job, and that's what I mean. We're not going to change anything. We're going to be the same people. We're going to implement the same systems, and we're going to expect the same sacrifice, and we've talked about it every show, the family atmosphere, what
Right.
we expect, and, I guess as it's not like a dictatorship, but we're the guys that got to steer the ship, so if our 10 returners that we have right now are steering in the right direction, then we'll be fine.
Well, we certainly look forward to what is coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and of course, a lot more to talk about here over the next couple of weeks. Thank you, coaches, for joining us. Jim, thanks for letting me help you guys out today, and thanks all of you for tuning in here to Dell's Ducks Weekly. More coming up on YouTube as we inch closer to the 2013-2014 season. Thanks for watching.